Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital. Maxie robbed of Lulu story spot. Cousin Carly connection falling flat. General Hospital, GH. Spoilers reveal that Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, is suddenly taking an interest in comatose Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens. But some fans aren't happy about it. It's true that Carly is Lulu's cousin, but the connection she's pushing now feels totally out of the blue. It'd be different if Carly had been close to Lulu in the months leading up to her falling into a coma. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, so Carly's fight to help Lulu feels forced, like the show's determined to put Carly front and center no matter what. Lulu and Carly haven't been an important part of each other's lives in at least a decade, so the writers are making some bizarre decisions. It's just tough to buy all this "I want my cousin back" talk when Carly has barely mentioned Lulu in recent years. We get that GH history is important, but it's also important to pay attention to how relationships evolve. There was a time when Carly and Lulu had a much stronger bond, but those days are long gone. On social media, plenty of viewers have been complaining about Carly's over-the-top involvement and suggesting alternatives. The story would arguably be a lot better if Maxie Jones, Kirsten Storms, were taking the lead with Carly in a supportive role. We need to be hearing more from Maxie, since we actually saw her bond with Lulu right before the coma catastrophe. Maxie has visited Lulu regularly ever since and still considers Lulu her bestie. It makes sense for Carly to seek Jack Brennan's, Charles Mazur, help finding Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson. But maybe Maxie should have been the one to ask Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, to save Lucky for Lulu's sake. Regardless, it seems ridiculous for Carly to be emotional by Lulu's hospital bed while Maxie is stuck in another boring deception meeting. This would be a good time to play up Maxie's own relationship with Lulu and offer a story that feels more realistic. What do you think about Carly caring so much about Lulu all of a sudden? Do you buy the cousin connection that GH is trying to sell, or is it falling flat for you? General Hospital spoilers say Lulu's wake-up call is coming this fall, so stick with us for more predictions on the aftermath and updates on how that news will affect Port Charles. In the bustling corridors of General Hospital, emotions ran high as the hospital staff, doctors, and patients navigated their personal lives along with the dramas swirling around Port Charles. But one particular storyline that had fans buzzing in recent weeks was the unexpected shift in focus from Maxie Jones to Carly Corinthos when it came to a story arc many believed should have been centered on Maxie's cousin, Lulu Spencer. For years, Maxie had been a central figure in Port Charles, a fiery, determined young woman who had faced more than her fair share of challenges. From losing her sister Georgie to struggling with her own heart itches, Maxie had grown up in front of everyone's eyes. Her friendship and deep bond with Lulu Spencer were one of the cornerstones of her character. They were practically sisters, sharing everything from laughter to tears, and enduring life's twists and turns together. But now, with Lulu still in a coma after the traumatic brain injury she suffered, fans had been eagerly waiting to see Maxie take center stage in a story that honored that relationship. Instead, much to the surprise of the Port Charles community, Carly Corinthos seemed to be sliding into a role that had originally been crafted with Maxie in mind, leaving a sense of betrayal and confusion. Maxie had been dealing with her own fair share of heartache, especially after losing Nathan and the complicated relationships that followed. She was juggling her life as a single mother while managing her position at Deception, all while carrying the weight of Lulu's continued absence. Everyone expected Maxie to rise as the emotional anchor of the storyline that touched on Lulu's long-awaited awakening and the complicated family dynamics it would stir up. But just when it seemed like Maxie was about to take the reins, Carly Corinthos swooped in. Carly was no stranger to the spotlight in Port Charles. Her fiery personality, complicated history, and ties to the Corinthos family always made her a central figure in any drama. But fans questioned whether her connection to Lulu was strong enough to warrant her being pushed into the forefront of this storyline. Sure, Carly had her connections to the Spencers, her past with Luke Spencer, and her friendships with Laura and Lulu. However, that bond paled in comparison to the lifelong connection between Maxie and Lulu. Behind the scenes, whispers circulated that the writers were angling for a fresh angle with Carly, hoping to capitalize on her fiery character to bring in high-octane drama. Yet the decision didn't sit well with everyone, especially not Maxie, who was quietly feeling sidelined. She had waited for her moment to honor her relationship with Lulu, but now it seemed like that opportunity was slipping through her fingers. Maxie confided in Felicia, her mother, one evening over a glass of wine, expressing her frustration. "I just don't get it, Mom. I mean, Lulu's my best friend. I should be the one leading the charge when it comes to her. Why is Carly suddenly in the spotlight?" Felicia looked at her daughter sympathetically, knowing how much Lulu's coma had weighed on her. "You're right, sweetheart. No one knew Lulu better than you. You two were like sisters. But you know how this town works. Sometimes the people who shout the loudest end up front and center." Maxie sighed, swirling the wine in her glass. "It just feels like they're turning something deeply personal into a circus. And no offense to Carly, but this isn't her story. It's mine. It's about Lulu and me." At the same time, Carly wasn't entirely comfortable with the way the storyline was unfolding either. She could feel the resentment bubbling beneath the surface, especially from Maxie. Carly wasn't blind. She knew she was stepping into territory that wasn't hers. Yet she also understood that her connections to the Spencer family, particularly Laura and Luke, made her a viable player in the narrative. Still, Carly found herself questioning whether she was the right fit for this. Sitting at the Metro Court one evening, Carly voiced her thoughts to Jason Morgan, her ever-loyal confidant. "I don't know, Jason. This thing with Lulu. I feel like I'm intruding. Maxie should be the one handling this, not me. I care about Lulu, sure, but this isn't my fight." Jason, always the quiet listener, nodded. "Then why are you involved?" Carly shrugged, a little frustrated. "Because it's what the writers wanted, I guess. I know how this game works, but it's complicated. I care about Lulu, I really do. But the deeper we go into this, the more I feel like I'm stealing something from Maxie." "Then don't," Jason said simply, giving Carly that steady, no-nonsense look he was famous for. "Step back. Let Maxie take the lead." It wasn't that simple, though. Port Charles thrived on drama, and Carly knew she had a role to play. Yet she couldn't shake the feeling that in stepping into Lulu's story, she was pushing Maxie out of something that belonged to her by right. She began to reflect on her place in all of it and whether it was worth the resentment it was stirring. Maxie, on the other hand, wasn't about to take this lying down. She had fought too hard to be relegated to the sidelines again, and Lulu's story was hers to tell. Determined, she began planning her next move, wanting to reclaim her place at the center of the narrative. It wasn't just about honoring Lulu. It was about standing up for herself, something Maxie had struggled with in the past but was finally ready to confront. As the storyline continued to unfold, tensions between Maxie and Carly quietly simmered. Neither woman wanted to be at odds, but they both knew there was only room for one of them at the center of Lulu's story. And while Carly had a way of commanding attention wherever she went, Maxie was no longer willing to let someone else take what she felt was rightfully hers. In the end, Port Charles would witness an unexpected power struggle, one rooted in the complex dynamics of family, friendship, and the need for validation. The fallout between Maxie and Carly was inevitable, and it would shake the town to its core, leaving everyone to wonder if this was the beginning of a new feud, or the painful awakening that would finally bring Lulu back into the fold.